AFC West matchup. Kansas City still undefeated at 6-0. They're going to Vegas. Should be typical home game for Kansas City in Vegas. Good vacation spot. Kansas City favored by 10, I believe. Aiden O'Connell for Vegas. He broke his thumb, out 4 to 6 weeks. That hurts. Minshew is leading the league in interceptions right now at the moment, I believe. Kansas City obviously still has some injuries to face, but it seems like they are playing bad and still managing to win. So, yeah, obviously, I'm going to take Kansas City. No signs of slowing down. And then, yeah, with Vegas, it just seems like they're figuring out, kind of similar to Cleveland, who's going to be on this roster next year and scouting quarterbacks.
And I think I
team.
think a much hotter seat than in Cleveland, just based off of
For sure.
the kind of who you're dealing with. One line I do like in this one is the Chiefs team total over 13.5 in the first half. I think if they're gonna win this game, how we think they're gonna win it, they're gonna come out early and jump on the Raiders right away. Those touchdowns could come from a bevy of places, but I think just with how their offenses looked, a bounce back spot versus the Raiders, you got to imagine that Mahomes is going to come out and be slinging the ball. To score 2 touchdowns in the first half against this defense, I don't think it's a crazy ask.
You might get some turnover help too, depending on the Raiders' offense. Maybe some short fields.
Some short fields, absolutely.
Yeah. Honestly, Antonio Pierce should be fired just for kicking that field goal on Sunday. I don't know if it's because they're Vegas and they wanted to cover the spread. Because they did cover the spread against the Rams.
A lot of speculation about it.
It's like he's at a college team. He still thinks it's Arizona State. He's playing for the Boosters. Because that was a very curious decision. 4th and goal, down 8 with 2 minutes left. Probably should go for the touchdown there. But alas, something like kicking the field goal and still being down by a full touchdown with 2 minutes to go in a football game.
It was bad. And Vegas actually pays a game management coordinator too, so he's in charge of all that stuff. They actually pay a guy.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, well, that guy should be fired, right? Unless there's something gambling related here. Like I don't know, but geez, that was a terrible decision. Either way, yeah, I think the Raiders are dead. They're a dead football team. They're a 2025 team, probably looking to the future at this point. That's a large number to cover a full game, just because I guess the back door is open. I don't know how focused Kansas City is going to be. They've kind of walked this wire where I think they should have lost a game by now, and they haven't. Credit to them for dealing with injuries. They looked like the much more prepared team against San Francisco. Right. Just when it came to making plays, important plays in the game, and keeping their head and being more prepared for the big moments.
Showing how to win ugly. They only had 2 drives of 75 yards or more.
Yeah, and that just goes to show that's a team that knows how to show up in moments, and the 49ers still don't know how to do that, I think. Right. But this is kind of the spread just gives me concern because it just feels like a hangover spot for the Chiefs, like undefeated. You're going to Vegas. The Vegas team sucks. You just beat the 49ers, big win. Laying double digits. That doesn't mean I'm going to go and bet the Raiders, but I like the way you're attacking it, Mike. Get at it from derivatives. Get at it from derivatives in the market. And is there a chance we see Desmond Ridder? Not that it's any more of an upgrade over Gardner Minshew, but
I think
we just signed him up Arizona. So I think there's a real chance we might see Desmond Ridder on Sunday. So I don't know. We can keep it short and sweet. I don't like either spread on this. It's the spread on this game. I'm with you, Mike. Get at it from derivatives if you're gonna get at Kansas City, but I will not be taking the Raiders in any aspect.
I'll only say with Myers. It looks like Jacoby Myers is questionable. I do like whatever the targets or receptions for Brock Bowers would be.
Mhm.
Oh,
That's
he's been
about
great.
yeah, that's about all I would say. He's been phenomenal.
The
And
lone
then
bright spot.
yeah, and I take a rushing touchdown from somebody on Kansas City. I maybe Steele, maybe Kareem. But yeah, I wouldn't.
Shout out Kareem Hunt. What a rejuvenation.
balling.
He's playing great football. What a find for Kansas City
Yeah.
to slot him in.
I think if one thing could happen, this is the same. The Raiders, if you remember earlier this season, were making fun of Mahomes with the Kermit the Frog thing. Maybe this is like a revenge game for Mahomes. Maybe he just goes
I was
crazy.
talking about being hungover, but maybe Mahomes just hates these.
Yeah.
It's a divisional
Maybe.
matchup, so I guess maybe
We'll see.
Mahomes just might
Max, yeah,
absolutely
Max will
destroy
set
him.
him
And
off.
you can't underestimate that rivalry between him and
They
Max
they can't poke the bear, because if they poke the bear,
Yeah.
it might get out of hand. One
Absolutely.
last thing on the Chiefs. Do you guys? I obviously there's Cooper Cup rumors floating around out there. What are the chances you guys think Kansas City parts the second round pick to get Cooper Cup's services potentially?
I don't think it's a crazy thing to say. I think that's been floated around even before last week. So I mean, I'm sure that's heating up for them. I mean, I think I'd like to see them make a move, and possibly, I mean, we'll see what's going to happen.
He would slide great into that Rashee Rice kind of route tree that they had Rashee Rice running.
he would he would slide great into it. I also think another name to keep an eye on too is a guy like Christian Kirk.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's just too much there's kind of just too much saturation at the wide receiver position for Kansas City to really value like that this midseason. I think they've done phenomenally well with their second round picks over the last few years. And I would hate to take those shots away from their management and their scouting department, just because, the proof is kind of in the pudding. Trent McDuffie, I believe, was a late first round pick.
He's a late first. George Karlaftis, I think, was a second.
Nick Bolton, Leo Chenal, like those guys are all mid-round picks, and I think they've just hit on so many of those guys defensively, and they've managed to, bring in guys like Rashee Rice and Hollywood, although they're not going to be available.
Second round pick.
And Juju got hurt this week